Have you ever really thought about what it would take for an AI to grade an exam? I mean, something that complex. In this explainer, we're going to break down a system that does exactly that. We'll see how a whole team of AI agents creates this kind of intelligent assembly line to completely automate exam grading from start to finish.
For any teacher or professor, grading is just this mountain of work. It takes forever, it's repetitive, and you've got to stay so focused. So imagine this. What if you could take that whole pile of papers and have AI turn it into a detailed graded report in minutes? That's the big, powerful idea we're diving into right now.
All right, here's how we're going to tackle this. First, we'll look at the problem AI is trying to solve here. Then, we'll meet the specialized AI team that's been built for this job. After that, we'll follow them through the actual grading process, see the final report they spit out, and then wrap up with a pretty important word of caution.
So, manual grading. It's a huge bottleneck in education, right? And the challenge isn't just about speed. It's about being consistent and giving good, detailed feedback to every single student. This is exactly the kind of complex, rules-based, but also kind of nuanced problem that a really sophisticated AI system is just perfect for.
Now, this is absolutely the key. We're not just tossing one giant AI at this problem and hoping for the best. No way. The system we're looking at is way more advanced. It's all built around the idea of agents, a whole team of specialized AIs. And that's a game changer, because it means each agent is an expert at its one specific job, which makes the entire system more accurate and a lot easier to manage. They all work together perfectly in sync.
So who exactly are these specialists? Let's meet the team. The easiest way to think about them is like a project team in an office, Different roles, different responsibilities, and a manager making sure the whole job gets done right.
And this right here, this is their playbook. This flowchart is the master blueprint for the entire operation. You can see how it all starts at the top with a request, and then just flows down through these different phases, like document processing and schema analysis, and each phase is handled by a specific agent. We're going to follow this map step by step to see how it all comes together.
Okay, so let's meet the players. Up top, we've got the exam grading orchestrator. This is the project manager, basically calling the shots and directing the workflow. Then you have the document processor, who's like the team's clerk. They handle reading and organizing all the raw files. Next up is the question schema analyst, the super detail-oriented analyst who breaks down the exam itself. The really heavy lifting is done by the answer evaluator. That's our expert examiner. And finally, the scoring agent acts as the administrator, pulling everything together into that final report card.
All right, now let's see this assembly line in action. We're going to walk through the whole process, from the second the PDFs are uploaded to the moment that final grade is calculated. You'll see exactly how these agents work together.
The whole operation is broken down into 4 clear phases. It kicks off with processing the documents, then moves to analyzing the structure of the exam. Then comes the main event, evaluating the students' answers. And it all wraps up with scoring and reporting.
Everything starts right here, in Phase 1. The orchestrator gives the job to the document processor agent. Its only job is to ingest the 3 key documents: the exam questions, the student's answer sheet, and the textbook that's being used as a reference. It's basically all the prep work before the real thinking begins.
And here's why the agent is so precise. It's not guessing. It has specific tools, and I mean actual functions in the code, for each task. It uses process question paper for the exam, process answer sheet for the student's work, and process textbook for the reference material. This just makes sure every type of document is handled exactly the right way. Okay, once the documents are all digitized, we're on to Phase 2. The orchestrator passes the exam info to the question schema analyzer. This agent's job is super important. It creates a structured blueprint, a schema, of the exam. It figures out every single question, how many points it's worth, and what kind of question it is, like is it multiple choice or short answer. I mean, you can't grade an exam if you don't understand how it's built first, right? And now, we get to the real magic of the system, Phase 3. The orchestrator hands things over to the answer evaluator agent. For every single question, this agent reads what the student wrote and then compares it against the textbook. It's looking for accuracy, completeness, and if the answer is even relevant. Pretty much exactly what a human grader does.
And finally, we hit phase 4. All the individual evaluations, the scores, the feedback from that last phase, it all gets handed off to our final specialist, the scoring agent. This agent adds up all the points, calculates a percentage, uses a tool to pop out a letter grade, and then puts all this info together into one comprehensive final report.
So after all that work by our AI team, what do we actually get? What's the end result? Let's take a look at the finished product, the final report card that gets sent back.
See, the output isn't just a number. It's a structured, pretty detailed report. You get the total marks, the percentage, the letter grade, but here's the best part. It also gives you a qualitative analysis of the student's strengths and, just as important, areas for improvement. That's where the real value is, right? In giving feedback that a student can actually use.
Now, with any technology this powerful, you have to talk about how to use it responsibly. So this final section is maybe the most important one, understanding the role of the human in this whole AI-driven process.
This quote comes straight from the project's own documentation, and it is the single most important thing to remember. This system is designed to be a tool that assists an educator, not replaces them. For homework, for practice tests, it's an amazing assistant. But for big, high-stakes exams, human oversight and judgment are still absolutely essential.
And that kind of leaves us with one final thought. We've seen how a team of AI agents can build this incredibly sophisticated assembly line for grading. So, is this what the future of learning looks like? Or is it better to think of it as the ultimate teacher's assistant? Something designed to do the heavy lifting so teachers can focus more on, well, teaching. The answer is probably somewhere in the middle.